You are now listening to a member of the Disney Podcast family. Head over to Disney Podcast Family on Instagram to see all the latest posts for this show and links to other great Disney podcasts.
Welcome back to Miles from Main Street. Today, we're getting ready for our trip to Disney World with our top 10 things to do at Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party.
To all who come to this happy place, welcome.
Please stand clear of the doors. Por favor, manténganse alejados de las
This here's
puertas.
a wild ride in the whistle.
Doors change.
Hello, I'm Brian, and this is my lovely wife, Tammy, and we are going to get started talking about our top 10 things to do at the Halloween party.
Yep, we are.
We sure are. But first, please like and subscribe to the show on your podcast app or on YouTube, and be sure to share it out. Remember, new episodes every Tuesday, and now on Fridays, watch for the Disney Dash, a short-form podcast excuse me, with my daughter Mia and I, where we'll be talking Disney from A to Z, but from a kid's perspective.
Yeah, she's very excited to be doing that with you.
She is, and the first episode just went out.
It did.
It's doing well, and you listened to it.
I did.
Did you chuckle at all?
I did.
That's good.
She I don't know. She's a great kid. She's got interesting and unique perspectives on things, I think, a lot of times. So
Yeah.
I think it'll be a good episode. Not episode. Good what's the word I'm looking for?
Show.
Sure, show for you.
It's a podcast.
Whatever. I don't know.
All right.
I'm just here.
You're just here.
I'm filling Mikhailo's void.
And we appreciate that. So we're going to Disney World. We start our travels tomorrow.
Yeah, I mean, kind of, sort of, sure.
Well, we go to Milwaukee and we have a friend's Halloween party, the annual Halloween bash.
Yes. So, I mean, yeah, technically we have to be like all packed and ready to walk out the door at about 2:00 tomorrow afternoon.
Yep. And then we're going to head down to Chicago on Sunday and get to Florida.
We are.
I can't wait either. You know, it's been unseasonably warm around here in these parts.
Yes. Which, like, this is my favorite weather that we have, favorite season in the state. So I'm kind of sad to, like, be leaving it for the 80s. I'd rather do it in, like, February, but...
And we're in Green Bay, Wisconsin, for those of you that haven't listened before or aren't sure where we are. So, yeah, but it's been like we had near 80 over the weekend.
Yeah. But I mean, anytime's a good time to go to Disney, right? So,
yeah.
Except for August.
That's, I believe they call that living on the surface of the sun.
Yeah.
They don't actually call it August. A quick story. We have a camper and we went there and camped. It was March, I believe.
Yeah.
And we had actually toyed with the idea, or I did, about going in August. And we don't have air conditioning in our camper.
No, we just have a pop-up.
Right. And so I started thinking about it and I'm like, we can get through a park during the day. We just need to find places to duck into air conditioning here and there. But you're still hot at the end of the day and you want to escape it in your room, right? Well, if you're camping there in August, you need air conditioning at night or you're not sleeping. And that's when I was like, this isn't going to work well.
You could have done it, but the rest of us would not have been able to.
Yeah. And I came to realize later that my family would melt in Florida. So we're just going to stay away from there in the summer. My hope, though, is that someday we'll get to Snowbird, which means that in the winter we'll go to Florida And in the summer, we'll go to Wisconsin.
Yeah. Our daughter is, if she gets accepted, hopefully doing DCP next spring or spring of 2026, right?
That's her hope, yeah.
Yeah. So I'm hoping she like meets someone who also loves Disney, who not necessarily lives there, but like, maybe would want to live there.
We can always hope. And of course, while she's doing that, we have to enact the plan, which is that we will get a annual pass and then also get an annual pass to Frontier Airlines so that we can just go whenever the heck we want.
That is your plan, yes.
I would love to do that. May the money saving begin.
We should probably talk about the Halloween party.
Okay, Halloween party. I'm sorry, I've been rambling. We like to do that on this show.
And I will apologize now. I have Mia's cold, so if I cough, sorry.
It's time for a trip and everyone's sick. Okay, so Halloween party. We've done these a couple of times, but it's been a few years.
Yep.
So we are looking at getting there early. You can get in at 4:00 to the Magic Kingdom, even though the party doesn't start until 7.
Yes.
And we did this for the Christmas party last year. We got there kind of early, but it wasn't necessary to get there early because the only thing we were really worried about was the merchandise.
Yep.
And there was plenty of that.
Yep. Everything we wanted.
But this time we're going to get there early, like 3:00. And that's because we want to see Jack and Sally. And this is the tip that everyone has been saying. If you want to see Jack and Sally, get there early so that you're closer to the gates when they open them. And you're going to go straight there. Once you have your wristband on, which they give you once you walk through the gate, you're going to go straight there and get in line. 10 minutes after open, that line will be up to an hour because everyone's going there. So
yeah, that's what you've told me.
So we're going to try to get there as quick as we can, even though we're waiting, in the blazing sun for an hour.
Right. Yeah. Oh,
well. It's worth it for our daughter.
It's also our first day there, so I feel like standing in the sun won't bother us as much as it might at the end of the week,
True. That could be.
Yeah.
Yeah. We get down there, and I imagine we will be at our hotel by noon.
Yeah, so we're hoping that we can get in early, but we'll see.
We're hoping.
So one of the big reasons that we want to meet Jack and Sally is that is what we are dressing up as.
Right. Yeah.
So Brian's going as Jack, I'm going as Sally, and we have spent all week, Brian more so than me, I'd say, making a Oogie Boogie costume for Mia. She found a picture of one on Pinterest, I think it was, and it was like $100 and some to buy it, and I was like, I'm not doing that. So probably might have been a better idea to do that, but
I think it's turned out cute.
Yeah.
And I haven't seen the whole thing on her yet, but I can't wait to see it.
Yeah, so it's like a girly version of Oogie Boogie. So it's like a green tutu and a tank top, and Brian had to make a hat with chicken wire, and we're not really crafty people. I wouldn't really say
but it looks great
that we're crafty people, but it did turn out way better than I expected.
Yes. So you're listening to this on Tuesday. I will be sure to post. We've already been at the party by the time you're listening to this. I will post pictures of her and all of us, and I would look awful. It's just a t-shirt, but
yeah, mine's just a dress I bought off of Amazon. So
your dress is
definitely the
cute.
star of the show.
Yeah. So I will get some pictures posted out there for all of you to see, and we're excited for it.
So are we doing this in like our top 10 style, or are we just talking about whatever we want to talk about?
I let off and the title on the show is top 10, but we'll just roll with it, whatever.
So my reason of asking was meeting Jack and Sally was one of our
Yes, absolutely it is. And I can't wait to do it. We met Jack and Sally at the Christmas party, which was really cool, a lot of fun. He I believe he said the best present is a pox in a box.
Yeah, I believe that is what he said.
Yeah.
And I know Mikhailo and Kristen went to the Halloween party last year, and that was one of the best interactions that they've said they've had with characters was with Jack and Sally.
Yeah, so if you guys are into Nightmare Before Christmas, or if you have a mild interest in it, it's really worth going and meeting Jack and Sally, and you definitely should do that.
For sure.
The wait times can get long. I've heard during the first or second parade that they can be shorter and maybe even a walk-in. But if you can't do it that way, and you're trying to think maybe you get in line at the end of the night, they close at 11:30. So make sure you're in line by 11:30. We had been talking about doing something along those lines, but the parade starts at 11:15 and we were going to watch the second parade, and we will not be able to watch the parade and make it in line by 11:30. So you got to think about that as you plan your night.
Yeah, that, and also, as all parents listening will know, the further you get along in a night, the less great the Halloween costume looks. So
Yes.
I wanted to go get it while her costume was still like freshly put together, and
Yeah.
like I am, because since we made it ourselves, we did sew and hot glue and stuff. So I'm kind of afraid like climbing in and out of rides and stuff, she might lose some of the pieces on it. So I want to go do it while it's still looking the best.
Yes, absolutely. And that's the best way to do it, is just get it done. Plenty of other characters out there that are worth meeting. We have not had the opportunity to enjoy meeting some of those characters. We tend to skip the lines if they're a little long and find other things to do. There's rides and food and things too that we'll get into. So
Yeah. I mean, the Winnie the Pooh characters in their Halloween costumes would be high on my list,
Mhm.
but not yours or Mia's per se. So I don't really want to take the time to do
that
it.
line can be over an hour easy
Yeah.
as well, and I've heard it goes pretty slow. So now I did mention the parade.
Mhm.
We're gonna go see a parade.
We are, and it is in my opinion, yeah, I'm gonna go with the best parade. I really enjoyed the Christmas parade, but I think the
Yeah.
Halloween one's better.
Yeah, and it's been, I mean, the last time we did this party was 2016, and so it's going to be fun to see the parade again, and see the new stuff that they've added since then. One of the things we like to do whenever we're talking about the parade is reminisce back to 2012 when we went. Our older two were just littles at that point, and that parade was really cool. They handed out candy along as they were going through the parade, which they no longer do that. And all the candy that they handed out, whether it was during the parade or during trick or treat, it was Goofy Candy Company candy, and it was specialty candies. Like, it was really cool to get
Yeah.
that.
I feel like I remember there being like a lot of taffies and
Yeah.
stuff like that. But yeah, really good.
But it was like right, like
Yeah.
you really felt like you were getting something, because it's not something you could just go buy in a store.
Right.
And at the end of the parade, which now Vanellope rides this float, but Goofy was riding it in 2012, and when they came by with that, you could smell candy coming off of it. I don't know if you still
I
can.
think you still can.
But then they're handing out these amazing suckers
Mhm.
to everyone, and the kids just loved that. So
Yeah, so as anyone who's seen the Halloween parade before, it kicks off with the Headless Horseman, which is always super cool to see.
yes, definitely get there at least 15 minutes early so that you can see that.
I know, and I'm trying to remember, was it the Halloween special on Disney Plus or something about the horses? But I feel like we watched some documentary that talked about like how they train that horse specifically because the rider is unable to see and everything.
Yeah.
And it was really cool to listen to and watch.
It's pretty much the rider at the horse's mercy.
Mhm.
So yeah, the horse is trained to go that entire route. I don't know how that person can hold that pumpkin up.
Maybe
But
it's really light.
I mean, he
Maybe.
is headless, so it's
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. So I think we're probably both in agreement that our favorite part of the parade is the grave diggers.
Yeah, I just love it when they script those shovels on the
I
ground
know
and
it's really
sparks
cool.
go.
But like, if I have to pick a second favorite part of the parade, it is the music.
Well, yeah, boo to you. And um I I there's two pieces of that I like with the music. There's one where you get the like band
Mhm.
and they're singing "It's Good to Be Bad."
Yep.
I really enjoy that part. And then the other piece is the Haunted Mansion float.
Mhm.
Um, it's a little more spooky, but the hitchhiking ghosts doing their
Yep.
dance and stuff to the music, I think that's always a lot of fun.
Well, and I think just the music in general during a holiday party in the park is awesome because there'll be Halloween themed music playing all night long
Mhm.
throughout the park. So just sometimes I think even I myself am guilty of it, that like you're just looking at everything that's going on, that you sometimes forget about like your other senses when you're in there. So the music just kind of takes a backseat, but you can hear that all that Halloween themed music going on all night while you're at the party.
Yes. So I know we have a list, but there are a couple things that I'm looking forward to beyond that. And I'm kind of shifting, I guess, but let's finish up the parade before I go too far. It's everything's kind of hitting me and we're talking. I'm having a good time. So
Okay.
parade twice a night, 8:15 and 11:15. It
Okay.
used to be a 9:15 start for the parade. They've moved it up an hour, and that's to accommodate the guests that have littles. They wanted to give them a better chance of seeing it because a lot of times the younger kids, it gets to be 10 o'clock and they're done.
Yeah, like even if they can make it in the park with you, they've fallen asleep and you want them to see that. So
Yeah, so 8:15, which I imagine they'll continue into the next years as long as it worked out well for them. And yeah, I get there early if you want to see it on Main Street. I've heard people say half an hour to an hour early. I think for the Christmas parade, it was almost an hour that we got in line, or
yeah.
not in line, but that we found a spot.
Yeah, and we had a hard time finding that spot at that point, I
Yeah.
felt like. So
And we were right in front of the tree, like just as they were coming down Main Street, so they were coming right at you. That was, and then Tammy and I actually moved spots so that we weren't crushed in by people.
I was super happy that we did that.
Yeah, it got great pictures, got to see everything, got some interactions from some of the performers, and got to see PhotoPass come along, and they took some pictures, and it was nice to having that.
Yeah.
So anyway,
Now
yeah,
we're really all over
parade.
the place. We're even on to a different party.
Well, I mean, it's our most recent thing we can relate to.
That's true.
All right, so parade done. I'm going to go into this piece that I was going to talk about before,
That's
which
what I figured you were going to do.
the Cadaver Dans. They've been a part of the show for a while. I love seeing them. That's a spin on the Dapper Dans, and they sing some spooky tunes in a barbershop style, and they're a lot of fun to see.
Tell really, really bad dad joke.
They're great jokes. Everyone laughs. A new feature though this year is they added the hitchhiking ghosts.
Yes.
And they meet up on that bridge in Frontierland, and I can't wait to see that.
Yeah.
They look so cool.
They do.
So good. And they have other people walking around that, cast members that are doing maybe cleanup or working certain things, but they're in a character of some sort.
Mm-hmm.
And just so much fun to interact with the cast members that are doing different things. So I'm excited to do that. All right, enough. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say this year when you walk into, they have so when we did the Christmas party and we walked in, they had, now I can't remember who it was that was standing there. Was it just like a DJ?
Yeah, there was a
And they
DJ.
had like ladies on stilts that were like snowflakes.
And the toy soldiers
And the
were
toy
there
soldiers,
too.
yeah. So this year for the Halloween party, which I don't know if they've done it, I thought they said it's brand new, but Cruella de Vil is standing there like talking to you when you come in, like kind of up on a podium. So I'm excited for that.
Yeah, and yes, that is new. They were trying to add back more villains this year, and I'm excited to see that. They've added Maleficent and the evil queen from Snow White, right? Yeah. They've added her, those two, back in Princess Fairy Tale Hall. It's actually a treat trail, so it's set up like an Oogie Boogie type of thing. If you know of Oogie Boogie Bash at Disneyland, where you go through the treat trail and the characters there greeting people. You can take a quick selfie, but there's no like meet and greet style thing.
I thought they were just up on the train station.
I saw some of that at the first couple parties, but I believe they've shifted them into this format. So I've heard some people have gone through that line and missed them because they might take a break. But you can get back in line. It doesn't, and that's what they've been saying. Like these lines don't take long because it's a walk by, so it's continuously moving.
Oh, cool.
Well,
now I'm excited for that then.
You didn't even know, did you?
I just thought they were up on the train station waving at you.
See, this is why you need to do the podcast with me more.
More?
You'll learn things.
Way more. I've been doing it with you for months.
All right, so so that was kind of an honorable mention from the list that didn't even have that on here.
No, we didn't.
There is a stage show.
Yes. Hocus Pocus.
Hocus Pocus, yes.
Yeah.
And they're using all the villains to help them make their potion. And this was a show that went on in 2016, and it's a show that's still going on in 2024. So our daughter is excited to see it.
Yeah, it's always good. I mean, it probably wouldn't be on my like I have to do it if she wasn't excited to do it, just because we've already seen it.
Yeah.
But Hocus Pocus is it's one of my favorite, probably my favorite Halloween movie. So anything with them is cool.
Yeah, and it's fun to watch. They do some singing, and it's a good time. The nice thing that we do with this though is that we go watch the last one at midnight.
Yep.
And that's when they close, is at midnight. So you're actually spending time watching the show after hours, and so you're not wasting. It's not that it's a waste, but you're not spending time from the party to watch the show.
Yeah, and I always like to wander like through the stores on our way back out instead of just leaving right away, kind of let some of the people clear out.
Yeah.
Usually find all kinds of things that I didn't know I needed during that time.
And this is probably a good time to mention that Disney will make sure you get back to your resort, regardless of, like they usually leave the stores open for an hour after close. So you don't need to rush out of there and get onto a bus. Like they will make sure that you get back to your hotel. So don't fret that. That's one of the things we've always done is we will kind of hang out and let the crowds go. And especially after fireworks on even just a regular Magic Kingdom night, we have been known to watch fireworks and run off to get on a ride quick, one of the last ones on the ride. And
and we've never stayed so late that we've gotten the like totally empty Main Street castle picture like some people can get, but we've gotten some, like the one I'm thinking of is of Jacob and Paige laying on the ground at night in front of the castle.
Yeah,
we've been there late enough that we've gotten some with barely any people behind them.
Yeah, and like I've heard people say, yeah, I've stayed and I've gone, is there who's left in the park? And the cast members roll their eyes and go, just you. I'm not that person. I'm not going to do that to somebody.
Right.
Those people want to go home. So, but like we did in 2021, we park hopped to Magic Kingdom and finished our day there. And I was like, we can shop. We'll take our time. We were staying at the Contemporary. And so we did. We shopped. And my daughter, Paige, was with us, and she was very nervous about us getting back to the hotel. And we did miss the monorail. It had closed by the time we came out, which is an hour after close. Apparently, that's a hard deadline. They're going to shut that thing down an hour after. So don't plan on that if you're relying on it. They do have a system to get a bus, even to the Contemporary from there, if the monorail is not available. We ended up walking that night. We got a little impatient, I think, trying to get a bus.
Yeah.
So we ended up walking to Contemporary, which at the end of that night was probably too long for us, but it's still a good walk, and it's not that far.
Yeah.
So
it wasn't a lot of complaining, so just a little.
yeah. So anyway, yeah, like take your time. I've heard so many people be like, oh, I get crushed by people on the way out. I can't handle that. And it's like, well, then don't. Just take your time.
And I think there's just something cool about shopping like after the park's closed. Like the stores aren't as crowded, and I feel like you can just kind of like take your time and see more of what's in there and stuff. I don't know. Like I feel like that's when I found like random things that I didn't even know existed before. I don't know.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. All right. So we've done stage show, we've done the parade.
Well, since we're kind of on the topic of shopping, we should probably mention that there is party specific merch as well.
Yes, there is.
Those are always fun things to get. There, I usually always try to get something that says that we were at the party that year. Whether it's a lot of times we'll go for the pins, if there's not like a specific shirt or something that we want.
And they kind of cordon us off in the Emporium. They also do it back in Star Traders in Tomorrowland. So don't feel like you need to be in the Emporium buying it. You can do it back in Star Traders too. And sometimes they even have more of it there.
Yeah, and a lot of times people will say that's not as busy back there because I think not everybody knows about that it'll be back there.
Right. And along with the special merch is you've got the popcorn buckets.
Yes.
And
sippers.
Yeah. So this year is the Winnie Mini. Yep. And or Mini Winnie Mini.
If
I don't know.
If you could just like go and we would get it for sure because it's super cute. But like people have been waiting in line for hours for this thing, and I'm not willing to do that.
Yeah. And I think Kristen waited what 2.5,
3,
yeah, somewhere in there. That was a very long time. So we're not gonna bother with that. But they do have other ones that are not so limited. Mm-hmm. So they've got the Mickey popcorn bucket, and just released a week ago was the Stitch vampire popcorn.
We will for sure be getting that because our 11-year-old is super into Stitch. So,
and like I've heard about this Stitch popcorn bucket, it looks amazing, and people have said like it is awesome. It's really well done. The detail on it is terrific. It's huge. So make sure we have room in the suitcase when it's time to come home because it's big. So
and I'm pretty sure his like mouth opens up, and that's where you get the popcorn from, right?
Yeah, I think that's right. But I do want to get the Mickey one as well because he's wearing his pumpkin costume. And
yeah, we're kind of into popcorn buckets, especially the holiday themed ones. Like that's what that's not all we have for decorations around our house for Halloween and Christmas, but we do put them all out for the holidays, and we have a shelf that we just keep like our regular ones out on all the time, but you'll find a popcorn bucket in every corner during Christmas and Halloween. I feel like.
And we have a lamp that we bought a couple years ago, and that has 3 shelves on it. Perfect for popcorn buckets. Yep. Okay, what's next?
So, if you've listened to this podcast before, you know that Mikhailo, Kristen, Brian, and I are all huge fans of Haunted Mansion.
Absolutely.
So one of my favorite things always to do at the Halloween party is that they have characters outside. Well, they used to be outside of the Haunted Mansion, but now you said they're inside. You have to go like into the queue to see them.
Yeah, you actually have to be in the ride queue to go see them because they hang out more towards the Leota tombstone.
Yeah, so they're ghosts that reside in the Haunted Mansion. So this year it is the Butler, and I didn't go look up the name, but I feel like it's Madame Carlotta.
I'm pretty sure
Yeah.
that's right. That sounds right to me. They've been doing this for some years now, and hilarious.
Yeah, they're just really funny. They're not like the dad jokes like the Dapper Dan or the Cadaver Dans,
Yeah.
but just funny stories, funny anecdotes. I don't know.
Yeah, and they play off each other really well.
Yeah.
And she's always telling stories about how she died or
Mhm.
how her friend may have done something. Like it's just hilarious. So definitely take the time to sit in that queue and go see them. You know, ride lines during the party tend to be shorter. Haunted Mansion, you know, like this year Tiana's and Tron, you know, they're the long lines. Even Mine Train tends to be a little shorter during the party. So
Yeah.
you know, you can definitely get a lot of rides done if you want to spend your time doing that. So
Yeah, we're not big on doing rides during the parties usually, but being that it's Halloween and Haunted Mansion is one of our favorite rides anyway, and they have these characters there, that's always one that we for sure do.
yeah,
during
and
Halloween party.
doing Haunted Mansion at night, you just have to do it.
Right.
There's something special about that. You know, like, so that, yeah, that's great. And you know, the other things that are going on is like the treat trails.
Yep.
Trick-or-treating around the park. No longer the special candy like I was talking about, but chocolate upon chocolate.
Yep, it's sponsored by Mars.
Yep.
So like M&Ms,
Snickers, I believe. Yeah, I don't know. Like all that good stuff.
I know when you walk in, you get a big mega size of peanut butter M&Ms, so I'm excited about it.
Oh boy. And they have scoops, and they might use their hand to hold that scoop together and put into your bag. So we're going to take an extra bag.
Yeah. So I teach this year, and I go through so much candy.
Because somebody has to bribe the kids.
It's a story for a different time. But
Okay.
anyway,
All right.
Yeah, so I'm planning on taking out all of the peanut butter M&Ms for myself, and then the rest of mine I'll take to work.
Perfect. I mean, that is part of the plan. You know, like we'll let Mia have some candy, but then the rest of it can go to your kids.
Yeah. So when we did the party before, we did some trick or treat trails, obviously, but like I feel like they weren't like a main focus for us. We didn't hit them all, and we still got quite a bit of candy, but our kids were still doing Halloween and still did the party that we're going to tomorrow. And so Mia, though, is actually going to miss Halloween because we're going to be down there for Halloween. So other than the party we're going to in Milwaukee tomorrow, this will be her main Halloween. So I feel like we're going to be more focused on hitting them all this time.
Yeah. And, you know, like I mentioned the Princess Fairy Tale Hall with the Maleficent and the Witch or whatever. But, you know, like over at the Laugh Floor,
Yep.
Monsters Inc. Laugh Floor, they turn that around and they actually have the screen turned on, and some of the characters are talking to people as they walk through it and get their treats. And that can be fun just to sit and watch, because you can sit down in the audience area and watch them for a little while if you want. It's a great place to get some air conditioning and relax a little bit if you need it. And so that's one area. The Fairy Tale Hall, I'm trying to, like, I think Columbia Harbor House, they tend to do something. I can't remember where all of them are, but definitely check them out. See what special things they're doing with them. Yeah. All right. So how about fireworks?
I mean, yeah, they're there.
I will forever and always miss Hello Wishes.
Yeah.
Which was the show tied to Wishes, which was prior to Happily Ever After. And the Wishes show was beloved by many. I don't have a connection to it because I only saw it a few times.
Mhm.
But Wishes, my goodness, the memories I have from that show, standing in the hub next to Walt and Mickey, and I'm videoing on this terrible phone in 2012, if you think of phones back then. I'm videoing it and holding my daughter, and the end of the show comes along, and I didn't video the whole thing, but I was videoing some of it, and by the end comes along, and 180 degrees all around me was giant fireworks going off around us, right? And if I was able to get that video, do you hear me just going like, "Oh my bleep," like it was incredible. It affected me. Like it was just like you really felt it. And
I so here's my thing is like I like Disney fireworks. I'm not like a huge fireworks person. Like for 4th of July and whatever, I could really care less if we go see fireworks. But I do really like Disney fireworks, but I'm telling you, happily ever after has ruined me for like anything else. Like I'm going to be devastated when that is gone for good
yeah,
because the music, the fireworks, the projections, like just nothing compares to it for me. So like anything else I see, I'm just kind of like, yeah, it's fine.
yeah, I get that. It'll be interesting when we get to see Luminous officially.
Yeah.
But so this fireworks show, they have a really cool Jack Skellington
Yep.
puppet that comes out. He's 12 feet tall, from what I understand. And he'll come out at the beginning and talk a little bit, and then the fireworks go off. And after Hello Wishes, it's hard for me. And you said like even Happily Ever After, it's hard to enjoy it. It's hard to, I don't know, compare it.
Yeah.
So I don't want to say don't bother, because I think that, like she said, Disney fireworks are Disney fireworks. Like
Right.
the 4th of July at home is when Disney fans go, meh,
Yeah.
But and any Disney fireworks show is going to impress you.
Right.
So definitely go check them out. But if you've seen them once, if you don't have the interest, you could go do something else, and the lines will be even shorter during that time, because almost everybody wants to go see those fireworks because they're only available during these parties.
Yep.
You're not going to catch them outside of a Halloween party, this show in particular. So
Yeah. So what else? Well, I guess talk about food a little bit, huh? There's always special options available at these parties. Um we kind of learned our lesson when we did um the party at the
the
Sweethearts Night
yeah,
at Disneyland to mobile order ahead of time, because otherwise you might not get what
I don't
you
know
want.
that that's as big of an issue at
It-
Disney World.
Maybe it's not. So what we usually do is go watch some other people's videos and kind of get an idea of what we want, make a list so that when we're there we can just pull it up and not be like
What was it?
like looking at the map, trying to decide, trying to figure out where they are.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I think you were just reading me the list today. We have maybe like 8 things that we wrote down. We won't get them all, but we just
8.
it was like 8.
It was at
party.
least a dozen.
For the party? Oh, well, whatever. We're not getting them all. We never do. Like we always write down everything for the food booths too, and we never get it all. But it's good to do it because it just kind of gives you at least an idea of what you want.
Right. And some of the food items are good, some of them are not. And you can find reviews for those items in many places. We're recording this on October 25th, so by the time you hear this, it's the 28th, I believe, and so there's only a couple of parties left after that.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping this is helping you next year
But they're good tips to keep in mind for even the Christmas party. A lot of what we're saying now applies to the Christmas party as well.
True. The treats though, like you can definitely find plenty of videos and reviews out there ahead of time. At some point we will go to the first parties so that we can review this stuff. But but we will until then we'll do the best we can. And yeah, so some of the food we're excited about. Some of the food we were excited about and found out that not so many people enjoy it.
Right.
So it is something that you should try it yourself though, because you might still like it.
Yeah, and a lot of the bloggers too will tell you like this isn't good, but it's very Instagrammable. So if you just want to take a picture of it, oh my gosh,
that cold is just
I
getting
know,
you.
it is always fun. Like for example, I'm thinking of the Madame Leota seance candle push-up thing. Like I've heard it's not that great and it's really super messy, but it looks so cool. So I
Yeah.
did it anyway.
Yeah, and the buffalo chicken hand pie, I would try it, but I don't do blue cheese. I have a reaction of some sort to blue cheese. So, but otherwise, I would try it. I think it looks good.
Yeah.
So there's definitely good treats out there to give a shot to. And if you don't want to spend money on the treats and you just want to eat candy, more power to you, man. Go for it.
So, as I cough again, one of the things I always enjoy about the party, and I guess this applies to any time we go to Disney. I'm kind of a nosy person, I guess. I don't know. I like to people watch, which I think is especially fun to do at the Halloween party because I like looking at all the costumes people have come up with, and sometimes they're just the whatever you can go buy at your local Halloween store, but a lot of times people have gotten really creative and they come up with some really unique ideas that are fun to see.
Yes, I would totally agree, and I can't wait to see the costumes Sunday night and see what people are doing. I hope we can get some pictures of them and share them here, and it'll be fun. I'm so excited to go and do this party. It's been 8 years.
Yeah.
So
that's crazy. It doesn't seem like it's been that
I know.
long.
COVID really time sucked everything. Like it's just I don't know.
I just feel like life moves fast anyway. So
it's so true. But anyway, anything else we need to include?
I don't think so.
I think we hit it all.
We hit everything we meant to.
All right. Well, I want you to have a good time at that party.
I will try. Can you get this cold to go away?
Yeah, I'll smack it out of you. I don't know.
Oh, good. I don't think that's a lot.
Melissa Pilgrim is our choice for your next Disney vacation. You can reach her at amagicalpilgrimage@gmail.com. We thank her for her support.
All right, so thank you everyone for watching and listening. Remember, episodes are every Tuesday, and you can find us on Facebook, Instagram, or YouTube. And we want to know your favorite memories. We did that last week. We were picking up memories, and we want to hear from you. What memories do you have that you want us to hear about? What's something that you enjoyed and think about a lot at Disney World? So let us know. You can text us or you can find us on those social media outlets. But as we like to say, some live close,
but others don't.
So let's talk about it. We'll see you next time on Miles from Main Street.